Daddy saved you and ran. Billionaire CEO tracks down single dad who vanished after rescue. New York City pulsed with the restless rhythm of a winter evening. Skyscrapers gleamed like sentinels over the crowded streets, horns blared, and snow fell in slow, quiet defiance of the noise. Among the throngs of people, a 10-year-old girl named Emma Collins clutched her father's hand tightly as they stepped out of the black SUV. Her father, Ethan Collins, wasn't he just any man, he was one of the most influential CEOs in America. Known for his unshakable focus and business brilliance, few knew the softer truth that behind the tailored suits and polished image was a man who once lost his wife to illness and now lived only for his daughter's laughter. That night, Ethan was attending a charity gala downtown. Emma begged to tag along. "Just for a little, Daddy," she said with those eyes that melted every no he ever had. But after an hour of flashing cameras and formal smiles, Emma slipped away toward the park across the street while Ethan was caught in another conversation. The snow had started falling harder. In the park, the laughter of street performers mingled with the jingling of bells from a nearby cart. Emma, mesmerized by a stray puppy shivering near the fountain, crouched down to help it. That's when she slipped. The thin ice near the fountain's edge cracked under her feet. In seconds, the laughter turned to gasps. A man across the street, tall, unshaven, with the kind of worn coat that had seen too many winters, heard the cries. Without thinking, he sprinted across traffic, his own daughter calling after him, "Daddy, wait." He didn't stop. He reached Emma just as she fell forward, plunging her arms into the freezing water. With one firm pull, he grabbed her by the coat and hoisted her back onto the snowy pavement, his own knees soaked and trembling from the cold. Emma's lips were blue, her breaths shallow. The man took off his coat, wrapped it around her, and whispered gently, "You're safe now, sweetheart. Your daddy's coming." Then he saw Ethan running toward them, security guards close behind. The man stepped back, gave a small nod, and before Ethan could even ask his name, he was gone, vanishing into the crowd with his daughter's small hand in his. All Ethan found was the coat, cheap fabric, a rip near the sleeve, but still warm from the man's body heat. He looked around desperately. Who was he? He asked anyone who'd seen. No one knew. Just that he'd come out of nowhere, saved Emma, and disappeared. Days passed, then weeks. Emma recovered fully, but she couldn't stop talking about the man who saved me. Ethan's heart twisted every time she mentioned him. He'd built empires, but he couldn't rest until he found one man who had nothing and yet gave everything. He hired investigators, combed through street footage, followed every lead. Finally, one cold evening, his assistant handed him a grainy photo, a man and a little girl leaving a homeless shelter on the east side. The same tattered coat, now missing a sleeve entirely. Ethan went himself. The shelter smelled faintly of soup and disinfectant. "We don't give out names, sir," the woman at the counter said, "but if you're looking for the guy with the daughter, he comes by Tuesdays. Name's Jack." Ethan waited. When Jack finally walked in, his daughter, Lily, clinging to his arm, Ethan stood. For a moment, they just looked at each other, the billionaire in a cashmere coat, and the single dad in threadbare denim. "You're the man who saved my daughter," Ethan said quietly. Jack shook his head. "Just did what any father would do." Ethan exhaled, emotion rising. "You could be frozen that night. Why didn't you stay? I wanted to thank you." Jack gave a small, tired smile. "You didn't need to. You were holding her. That was enough." Ethan studied him. There was something in Jack's eyes, a depth of exhaustion only single parents knew. "Where do you live?" Ethan asked. Jack hesitated. "We're between places." Without a word, Ethan took out his card. "Come by my office tomorrow. No publicity, no cameras. I just want to help." Jack didn't ego. Pride was the only thing he had left. But fate had other plans. A few days later, Lily fell ill with pneumonia. Jack sat by her side in the clinic's charity ward, clutching her small hand, when a doctor entered with an unexpected visitor, Ethan Collins. "I told the staff to transfer her to a private hospital," Ethan said gently. "Please don't say no. She deserves better care." Jack's voice broke. "I can't pay for that." Ethan's eyes softened. "You already did. You saved my daughter. Let me save yours." For the first time in years, Jack let someone else carry a burden for him. Lily recovered faster than anyone expected. And one sunny afternoon, Emma walked into her hospital room carrying a stuffed puppy that looked just like the one from the park. The two girls laughed like they'd known each other forever. Over the next weeks, Ethan and Jack spoke often. They were opposites in every way. One built towers that touched the sky, the other swept their floors to survive. But they shared the same thing: love that asked for nothing in return. One evening, as they watched their daughters draw together in the hospital lounge, Ethan said, "You know, I was lost before that night. I worked, I earned, I existed, but I stopped living after my wife passed. You brought me back to the surface." Jack looked at him quietly. "Funny. You did the same for me." Months later, Ethan offered Jack a job in one of his companies, not out of pity, but respect. Jack hesitated again, then accepted. He was good at fixing things: machines, wiring, little broken parts people ignored. And slowly, he rebuilt his life the same way. A year passed. On a spring afternoon, the two families met again at the same park. The fountain gleamed under the sun. The girls played near the water's edge, laughing. Ethan turned to Jack. "Strange, isn't it, how one moment changes everything?" Jack nodded. "Sometimes it just takes one person to stop running." For a long moment, they both stood there, two fathers, different worlds, bound by one act of quiet courage. The city hummed around them, but for once, everything felt still.